motherfucking history today.
This ain't just another game. This ain't just another game. This is to put us up, baby. This is for legitimacy now. Let's go. Lines on three. 1, 2, 3.
That's the Seahawks statement here today. Legitimacy. Transfer of power in the NFC West. They want it. They want to take it away from the Rams, and they're doing it.
Bruins punt. McDonald backpedals to the 24. Fair catch there. 47-yard punt. Early fourth quarter here in Seattle.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and the all-new STS Breakthrough by City Business with real live small business specialists on the phone. That's a card you can count on. By Dodgers Pro Style, shirt and pants that do it all. And by Michelob Ultra, lose the carbs, not the taste.
You saw Grant Wistrom, and Brian, you talked about Terrell Owens, one player shifting the balance of power of the NFC. Can a defensive player such as Grant Wistrom shift the balance of power in a division?
Yeah, you take one of the best players from the Rams defense and you put him on the Seattle defense like that. I think it can happen, and I think it is happening.
From the 25, bouncing it outside is Falk. And then he's knocked back, loses a yard. Mike Martin spoke with us last night about Wistrom's engaging personality, all of the community work he does, and he said he had a major impact on our team.
Well, you know, Grant Wistrom was on the free agent market for less than a day. He came up here, watched some tape with Holmgren and Ray Rhodes, and they told him about the defense, and they weren't letting him get away. Kansas City wanted to go interview him. You know, he played for Dick Vermeil in St. Louis. Vermeil needed a pass rusher. He was ready to go there. The Seahawks were not letting their key free agent get out of town. And that's what you have to do. They overpaid for him, but so what? They got the player they wanted.
Second down and 11 as Bulger is picked off for the third time today. It's Marcus Trufant with his second interception this season. Bulger came into the game having been picked off only twice all year. No interceptions his last 77 pass attempts coming into the game, but 3 times today. Lucas, and now Trufant.
Kenny, we said these zones are being played perfect by Seattle, and Trufant was in perfect position to take this ball out of the air. Two defense right here, 2 deep safeties. Watch the corner, Trufant here. He's playing deep. This guy wants to stop up here. He doesn't care about the short pass. They're trying to prevent touchdowns. He keeps expanding in his zones. He gets himself an easy interception.
Sean Alexander tackled 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage by Adam Archuleta. A couple of injury updates on the Rams defense. Aeneas Williams out with the pinched nerve in his neck, will not return. Tyoka Jackson, a strained hamstring, will not return.
I tell you, it is not easy to bottle up these receivers from the Rams when they have to be on. And Trufant and Lucas are making a good name for themselves. 3 interceptions between those 2 guys today. I mean, Isaac Bruce came in leading this league in receptions. Torrey Holt's been a thorn in most teams' side over the last 4 or 5 years.
And there's a completion to Max Strong, but he loses 3 yards. Bruce coming into the game today, led the NFL, 32 receptions. First player since 1963 to start a season with 4 consecutive 100-yard games. And he has been held in check today, as has Torrey Holt.
Well, I think the whole defense, it starts with the pressure that they're getting up front with that defensive line, stopping the other team from running, getting a lead, and forcing teams to throw.
Pump fake, Hasselbeck rolling right, directing traffic. And gets as many yards as he can, takes it down to the 32-yard line, about 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
Well, Hasselbeck, when he runs, he's only running to remain a passer, to try and buy as much time, but the receivers didn't come back to help him here. We got a difficult 4th down decision to make.
4th down and 2. Fans want the Seahawks to go for it.
Yeah, they're right on that cusp there. They try to kick this field goal for Josh Brown. He's right at about 50, 51 yards. He's missed one today from 43. The offense has been almost unstoppable this afternoon. You got a Pro Bowl left side of the offensive line with Hutchinson and Walter Jones.
Looks like the Seahawks will take the play clock all the way down and then use a timeout. So the clock stops with 11:41 remaining. Fourth quarter. Only 4 unbeaten teams remain. New England, the New York Jets, Philadelphia, and Seattle.
New Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution.
Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger back in Seattle. Seahawks going for it on 4th and 2 from the 32. Hasselbeck complete. Darrell Jackson able to hang on at the 23-yard line. Gain of 9.
Well, that time he hung on. It's the easy passes these guys drop. The ones that are right to them. Tough passes, these guys look like they concentrate harder. It's a good move because right there, Jeremitrius Butler was trying to prevent Jackson from getting inside. Big throw by Hasselbeck that time.
Jackson up to 91 yards on the day, has a touchdown back in the second quarter. From the 23, Alexander was a 360. And after all that, no gain. Sean Alexander is always smiling.
Yeah, you know what? He's having a good life, though. I mean, he's just having a good time. You know, the former #1 pick at Alabama, and he's played behind Ricky Water here. But enjoyed his bye week, went down to a Fox pregame show, was down in Los Angeles, had a good time. Heck, his daughter's name is Heaven. You know, I mean, he feels like this is heaven to him.
And she was born last year, the day the Seahawks played Seattle. In fact, he missed the first quarter of that game.
Yeah. He wanted to be there for a special moment in his life.
His demeanor reminds me a lot of Tiki Barber, who also had a big day today.
Huge day. Big win for the Giants down there in Dallas today.
Alexander. No gain. Adam Archuleta made the tackle. JB, what's going on down in Los Angeles?
Well, take a look. A lot happening in Denver. Take a look at this outstanding play, Kenny and Brian. Jake Plummer hooking up with Ashley Lee over his shoulder. Great concentration. Had control. It was challenged, but it stood. Denver now on top of Carolina, 2017, late in the fourth. Back to Kenny and Brian.
The two Jakes hooking up today. Jake Delhomme and Jake Plummer both came into the league in '97.
Both finding success on other teams. Plummer coming from Arizona, Jake Delhomme coming from New Orleans.
3rd and 9. Pass is caught by Corin Robinson. Stopped about 2 yards shy of the first by Tommy Holly.
You know who's the freshest guy on the field right now? Is the left tackle, Walter Jones. I mean, I can't imagine anything being easier than the way Walter Jones plays this game. He doesn't come to training camp, doesn't train in the isn't around the team in the offseason, goes down to Huntsville, Alabama. Got a home being built down there. It's just plays over in a couple seconds for him, doesn't get hurt. Started 110 straight games for the Seahawks here. Never in the training room.
34-yard attempt for Josh Brown, extending the Seahawks lead. If you push trucks as a 16-year-old like Walter Jones did, you would feel pretty fresh.
There's a
playing in a football game.
Yeah. Well, you're fresh and you're happy. Now that's the workhorse of this Seattle Seahawks team, the offensive line. And if you want to see a team that's undefeated in this league, and there's 4 of them right now, Kenny, look at the offensive line and look how well they're playing and who's on it. Hutchinson and Walter Jones from the Pro Bowl a year ago. Solid veteran Robbie Topek at center.
Marlon Harris brings it out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the foundation of a good football team right there. Chris Terry at right tackle. You know, an offensive line will always sit down together. You got the right tackle, the right guard, the center. I mean, these guys are, they're creatures of habit. They sit down the same way that they line up. Yeah, Walter Jones, he gets the last seat on the bench right there. You got to save room for the 4-time Pro Bowler. And they miss him during training camp. But Bulger is one of those franchise tag guys. He's waiting for the big long-term contract, and if they're not going to get it to him, he'll just play one-year deals at a time.
Bulger, Steven Jackson, but Anthony Simmons was right there.
I tell you, these guys are flying around, and they're having some fun, and they're making a name for themselves. This is what the #1 ranked defense in this league coming into today has done so far. 3 interceptions from that secondary, 2 by Lucas, 1 by Trufant, a couple of sacks, deflected passes, and they've held Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce to 71 combined receiving yards. Now to Ray, the sky is still going to fall today. Something still went wrong. He's still not going to be happy.
Well, they gave up 10 points for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Seahawks had allowed 13 points over their first 3 games combined. From the 31. Broken up. Trufant nearly had a second.
He was trying to. There might be a little competition going on in that secondary about who's going to get more today between him and Lucas. C-Dents?
Defense.
Defense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's Trufant here. These guys they've been playing mostly zone today, but to be a great zone team, you have to have excellent man-to-man skills. When that ball's in the air, you got to be able to break on it. Heck, you see the Ram receiver slipping, you don't see the Seahawk defender slip.
Trufant, aside from his interception, has broken up 3 passes today and has 7 tackles.
That's a good afternoon.
3rd down, 13. Bulger, pump fakes, throws, complete. 1st down. Isaac Bruce into Seahawks territory, and there is a flag, a 20-yard pickup by Bruce.
Well, if you give Marc Bulger and Isaac Bruce that much time, they will find a way to complete a pass down the field. Like there's going to be a late hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 99, a hit to the face mask. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Yeah, I tell you. With Bernard in his face, stayed awfully calm. You know, that clock inside a quarterback's head right there. Ooh, that was right. That's just, they're going to throw that flag every time. Bulger still didn't take his eyes off down the field after Rocky Bernard slammed 2 paws on his helmet.
Rocky Bernard already has 3 sacks this year.
Well, the guy that they like in this defensive line right now is the rookie right here, number 90, Marcus Tubbs. Big guy out of Texas who has some good pass rush ability.
1st and 10 from the 34 of the Seahawks. Sidearm throw by Bulger. Incomplete. Intended for Sean McDonald.
Well, you know, any pocket quarterback, whether it's Kurt Warner, Bulger, you know, these guys that like to set their feet, if you can disrupt them, make their feet move, not let them get set, you're always going to destroy the rhythm and the timing of it.
So that Jets score, they lead by 2 in the final minute, one of the 4 remaining unbeaten teams. Falcons lost for the first time.
Yeah, and Marc Bulger has been hurried 18 times today. Great pressure put on by the front 4.
On 2nd down, Jackson. Tackled by Rocky Bernard. After a gain of 2 down to the 32-yard line.
You know, coming into this season, you know, this Seahawk team, they hadn't played well on the road. They only won 2 games on the road last year. They lost in the playoff game up in Green Bay, and the schedule makers didn't do them any favor. Their first 2 games this year was at New Orleans and at Tampa. And they went down there and they took care of business. And it was the defense that did it. They kept them in the games. They shut the Saints down. They shut Tampa Bay down. And that really got this whole thing ignited. They got a swagger now going on the road.
3rd down and 8. Bulger firing. It's caught by McDonald. 1st down inside the Seahawks 10. Sean McDonald, 2nd-year receiver out of Arizona State, picks up 24 yards.
You know, even though they gave up a big pass play there, and that's not going to make Ray Rhodes happy, they still are able to tackle and get the guy down. You know, St. Louis still isn't able to just go down the field and beat him on deep passes. They're giving things underneath right now. They've got a 3-score lead at the moment. They're giving up those kind of passes. But any good defense wants to defend its goal line, regardless of the situation.
From the 8, 1st and goal. Bulger looking end zone and hits the crossbar with the pass. Intended for Torrey Holt.
The one guy that we haven't talked about for the Seahawks defense is Chike O'Keefer. He was the right end last year, and when Wistrom came and signed, O'Keefer went from right end to left end, and he has 2 sacks today. He's been a real workhorse guy. He's kind of a flaky guy. He's out there. Him and Grant get along real good together. He's been coming off the edge against Grant Williams, a former Seahawk, and he's having a good afternoon.
O'Keefer and Wistrom met by chance in Hawaii during the offseason.
Really, like on some wave out there in Honolulu.
Bulger still on his feet. Throws to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Brandon Manu Maliuna. Surrounded by Seahawks, able to make the catch for the Rams score.
And I'm not sure if that ball was meant for him. Kind of think that he was looking at Isaac Bruce in the back of the end zone, who was actually out of bounds on the play, beyond the end zone line. But what a catch by the tight end. Bulger just kept himself alive. Guys nipping at his feet, stayed on him, kept his head up.
An 8-play, 66-yard drive. Wilkins for the point after. So the Rams within 10 with 5:34 remaining in the 4th here in Seattle.
Bobby Taylor working on him. They've got him sandwiched. I mean, that's a double team there. Wow. He went up in a crowd of 3 defenders. Look at the protection here. Guy's nipping at Bulger's feet, keeps his head up. I don't know how he got that ball off like that. That thing came out sidearm, came out high. Look at that. Ball was, I think, tipped inside there by Anthony Simmons. Well, that's Chike O'Keefer getting another hit on him. That didn't feel good.
So the Seahawks, for the first time this season, have allowed 2 touchdowns in a game. They had given up only 1 touchdown over their first 3 games.
That Manu Leona. Sorry, well, I mean, help me out here, Kenny.
Manu Maliuna.
Yeah, you know, and it's the end of the day here. I'm just that guy is as big as an offensive tackle. He's 300 pounds, and he's a great blocker. They can get some receptions like that out of him. It just bounces offense up even more. Remember last week, the 3 touchdowns the Rams scored were all first career touchdowns for all the guys that scored. McDonald, good speed, Jackson, and Steve Jackson.
Now remember, keep this in mind, Brian, Rams have only 1 timeout remaining. They used 2 already. Morris on the return to the 20. Seahawks heading to Foxborough next weekend, and so are JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. America's #1 pregame show will hit the road to the home of the unbeaten Patriots. Jimmy will count down his 10 greatest teams of all time, plus 10 yards with TV. Fox NFL Sunday from Foxborough next week.
Remember, Belichick in this offseason went down to visit Jimmy Johnson down in the Florida Keys where Jimmy lives, and Belichick really wanted to kind of pick his brain about, you know, the dangers of repeating and what stops a team from repeating and how you escape those traps. Feeling too good about yourself and too confident.
Patriots last lost to the Redskins last September. Alexander, as the Seahawks will look to get some time off the clock.
This is when a good offense kicks it into gear. You know, I mean, the defense needs the ball back in the worst way. They're going to try to strip the ball. They'll gamble like crazy, just jamming the line of scrimmage. This is when an offense can really establish itself. You know, you get to 55 minutes in a game, and if you can just get a first down after first down, melt the clock, you know, and not allow the Rams offense to come on the field, that can make you feel as good about yourself as anything you've done all day.
Under 5 minutes remaining, 2nd down and 8 from the 23. Alexander. Alexander out to the 30-yard line, gain of 7. Tommy Polly made the tackle, stop a yard shy of the first.
And here's the key 3rd down right now, 3rd and short. You bet that Alexander will get his hands on this ball again as they try to run down this clock.
Mike Holmgren with some ties to the city of St. Louis. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals back in 1970. Went to training camp. Quarterback out of USC. Seahawks hoping the clock moves even quicker than it has been. 3rd down and 1. Alexander. Let's see where they spot it.
Boy, the Rams offense is up off the bench. They want another crack at this. Yellow line, of course, is the 1st down line, and looks like they're short.
The short, says Pete Morelli, the referee. And the Rams have used their final timeout, which means if they want to challenge a play prior to the 2-minute warning, they cannot.
Remember last week we were in Cleveland and Joe Gibbs didn't have any timeouts left at the end of that game, and a call outside the 2 minutes, chance to challenge it, maybe overturn a fumble. Didn't have it. Mike Martz says he doesn't care about timeouts. He'd rather get the play right.